Welcome back to your girl's channel. My name is Monique. If this is your first time ever hanging out with me, recently I've been creating content about a soft life and how to build a soft life. I've been throwing a little bit of fashion in there too, but we're switching gears today. We're going to be talking about faith, and more specifically my job testimony and how I landed a job in the TV industry with absolutely no TV experience. It sounds crazy, but with God, all things are possible. I wanted to just preface this video by saying, I hope you take something from this video. I'm not making this video to brag. I honestly didn't want to make this video. The Lord kept putting it on my spirit to share my story in hopes that it would encourage someone. So that is honestly the only reason why I am making this video and deciding to share my job testimony. If that is something that you are interested in hearing, I would definitely keep watching. Before we dive into the story, I have to paint the picture and set the scene for you guys. So it was 2022, May, June. I had just graduated with my bachelor's degree in communication. I was working part-time / full-time at Kia. I was a receptionist and I wanted to move to New York. That was the goal. Like the big audacious goal was to move to New York. So that's what's going on in my mind, right? I'm fresh out of college and I'm just eager and ready to get a job in my career field, just like everyone else who's fresh out of college, right? So it seemed like immediately after we graduated, everyone that I knew was getting jobs in their career field. They were moving out of state, they were moving out of the city, they were going and doing what they literally went to school to do. And here I am still working at Kia as a receptionist. Now, I'm not gonna downplay receptionist, but I was like, no, I wanna be on TV. I'm telling all my family, I'm telling all my friends that I'm gonna be on TV. And here I am still working at Kia. So it was a little bit discouraging, but it was also very empowering to see all of my friends go into their career fields. But I'm just kind of, secretly I wish that was me too, right? So I started applying for jobs, and like I said, I really wanted to go to New York. So I started applying for a bunch of jobs in New York. But in addition to jobs in New York, I started applying for jobs in California, more specifically Los Angeles. And then I also started applying for jobs in Atlanta. I just wanted to go wherever, but I really wanted to go to New York. But whoever would give me a start, I didn't care. I was gonna go there. I don't care if it was in the most randomest places, I was going to go there. I majored in communication. I didn't major in broadcast journalism when I was at my college because for me specifically, I don't want to be a news anchor. I don't want to work in news at all. So I'm not news trained. The shows that I work on are lifestyle shows. So they're literally everything fun. I'm just having fun all day on camera. I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm drinking cocktails, I'm talking to people. It's a really fun show. I knew I didn't want to be a journalist. I knew I didn't want to sit behind a desk and deliver hard news every day. That's just not me. It's not something that I wanted to do. So that's why, hence, I majored in communication. So what I did was I learned how to talk to people. I learned how to have a conversation with people. I learned how to interview people a little bit. That was specifically what I was doing. But I was applying for jobs in the news field because I'm like, no one starts off automatically in lifestyle. People literally go from news to lifestyle because that's what they want to do. Their end all be all is a lifestyle TV show for some people. But I'm like, it's just not possible. I'm not going to be able to go into lifestyle immediately. So I'll start applying for jobs in the news sector. Little did I know, right? So as I was applying for jobs in the news sector, I was applying for jobs to be an anchor. I was applying for jobs to be a multimedia journalist. I was applying for jobs to be a photographer. I was applying for any and every job in the newsroom that would get me a foot in the door. And then I quickly realized that that's not what I wanted to do. I'm like, Monique, you are going to be miserable doing that. And I am the type of person that if I don't enjoy what it is that I'm doing, I'm not gonna put my best foot forward. And I know that sucks, but I'm just being honest with myself. That I just knew I wasn't gonna enjoy it at all. I was genuinely just gonna hate it. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna start applying for jobs in radio instead. So I was still applying for TV jobs, but I was also starting to apply for radio jobs. And I had also had a radio internship. So I'm like, I had a little bit experience there. I started applying for radio jobs. And I also realized again that I didn't want to do radio. But I was only applying for radio jobs because I was trying to live Oprah's dream. I was trying to live Oprah's life, literally, because all in my head it was like, okay, Oprah got her start in radio. Let me try radio too. already tried radio in college and I didn't like radio. So I don't know why I decided to apply for radio jobs. But like I said, whatever I could do to get into the industry, that is what I was going to do, right? I had to tell myself to stop trying to live somebody else's dream, because that's not my dream. And so I kept telling the Lord, I said, I want to be on TV right out of college. That is the biggest goal. I want to be on TV and I want to be in lifestyle. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. The last straw that broke the camel's back before actually talking to God about my career was I applied for a TV job in New York City. And I applied once and they denied me. I didn't have any experience. And when it comes to working in TV, they really value your experience kind of over your degree, because yes, it's a degree, but like they want to know that you can do what you do. Like they don't want to have to train you. Like they want to know that you can do what they're asking and requiring you to do in that job, right? So like I said, I didn't have any job experience. So when I was applying for this job in New York, and it's New York City, you gotta have experience to work in New York City. And so I applied, obviously they denied me. I applied for the job again. And you know, in that comment section where they say like leave a comment. So I decided to kind of pitch to myself why they should hire me even after they denied me. I submitted the application and it was almost immediately I had this feeling like I'm begging for a job. And if I'm meant to have this job, it will happen, but they already denied me, so let's not do that. So I kid you not, you guys, the next morning I was driving to work and I was praying in the car, and I was driving. And the reason why I say I was driving, because in my prayer I said, okay, Lord, I'm gonna let you take the wheel. I'm gonna stop driving. I'm gonna get out of the driver's seat and I'm gonna get in the passenger seat, and I'm gonna let you control my career. I'm gonna let you control where you want to go. Here, this is me surrendering to you. This is me surrendering to your plans. Let me know, Lord God, where it is that you want me to go. A couple hours later, I kid you not, one of my friends at the time, we had both just graduated, she was on vacation. And she too did not have a job in her career field. But while she was on vacation, she texted me and said, Taminique, I don't see you in New York. I actually see you in Chicago. And the reason why I looked like that, because I was like, what? I knew that was God immediately speaking to me through her, because a couple years ago in 2020, I had never been to Chicago, and I wrote it down in my journal that I was going to get my start in my career in Chicago. So when she texted me that, I was like, okay, Lord, I hear you. I hear you. I immediately, once she sent me that text, I immediately think back to that moment, and I'm just like, okay. So when I got home, I started looking for jobs in Chicago. And Chicago, like New York, is a really big city for media, so you have to have experience. And also, again, I'm still looking for jobs in radio. I stopped kind of looking for jobs in the newsroom, and I'm like, I'm gonna do the radio instead. So I got an interview at a radio station, and I am a great interviewee. I will say that. I connect with so many people. I'm a people person. To know me is to know how much I love talking to people and how much people love talking to me. And so when I go on these interviews, like it's going to be a great interview. And this interview was on the phone. But I remember praying, I kid you not, you guys, I prayed before that interview and I said, Lord, if this is not the job for me, allow me to see that. I went in that interview over the phone, and it was the worst interview ever. I'm talking about the worst interview ever. The only thing the guy and I connected on was that we went to the same school in college. That was the only thing we connected on. Other than that, the interview was absolutely horrible. It was garbage. And I remember leaving the interview feeling so defeated, because I'm like, this was like, I felt like I was gaining traction in the job search, and then all of a sudden I left knowing I wasn't getting that job. I left it. But literally, as soon as I'm feeling that, the Lord put on my spirit, he's like, Taminique, you told me to, or you asked me to show you that this job wasn't for you. Why are you upset about it? And so it was kind of like, he checked me real quick, and I was fine after that. And of course I was a little bit still discouraged, because I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, what are we doing? I went home and I still cried a little bit, but I'm like, pick your head up. Like, he literally answered your prayer immediately. Do not be upset about it. Let's just go back to the drawing board. Go back to the drawing board. One day I was at home and I'm searching on LinkedIn. I'm still searching in Chicago specifically. And as I'm searching for jobs, I'm not really finding anything that interests me. And almost immediately after I was about to click off of LinkedIn and like go to Indeed, I heard the Lord say, expand your search to all of Illinois. So that's exactly what I did. So I expanded my search to all of Illinois, and I kid you not, you guys, the third job on the page after expanding it to all of Illinois was the job on air talent and lifestyle producer. So I'm reading the job description and I'm like, this is my job. This is exactly what I want to do. I get to be on camera and I get to learn behind the scenes. This is my job. And it was in Rockford, Illinois. I had never been to Rockford, Illinois, let alone heard of Rockford, Illinois. And so I kid you not, I immediately looked up how far is Rockford from Chicago, and it was like an hour and a half. But like, that job description was glowing. Like, it literally felt like it was glowing. It felt like I had just got slapped in the face. It was like, this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. So I immediately applied. That was at the beginning of August when I applied for the job. Throughout that whole time, the delusion kicked in. And I don't want to say delusion, I really mean faith, but like at times, while I was in it, it felt like it was delusional. I felt like I was being delusional, right? Almost immediately, I'm telling my friends, I'm about to move. I'm about to move. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like the Lord's about to move me. And I wasn't telling them specifically where, but I'm like, I'm about to move. Like, I'm about to move. I kid you not, I would go to TJ Maxx with my grandmother and buy things for an apartment that I did not have. Y'all, when I saw delusion, babes, I was delusional. And then I was also looking for apartments in the city, in Rockford. And I didn't even have the job yet. I hadn't even heard from the hiring manager yet. Like, I just believed, and I'm like, this is my job. I know the Lord said this is my job, right? As the month of August is passing by, I haven't heard anything. I keep checking the job application website and it just says submitted. So I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm still gonna trust that you're saying this is my job. I'm gonna trust that they're gonna call me. Little did I know the Lord was wanting me to act out on faith. And why I say that is because one night I was watching a sermon by Sarah Jakes Roberts. And in that sermon, she said, throw a seed at it and let God do the rest. Almost immediately on my spirit, I heard, email Michelle. Now, Michelle was the host of the show that I was working for. And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If the Lord wants me to have this job, He will have them call me or He will have them email me to set up an interview, but I'm not doing that. Because to me, it felt like I was going ahead of God if I was to do that. So I was like, no, I don't want to step ahead of Him and mess anything up. Like, I'm gonna let Him work it out. I'm gonna let Him do. If He said this is my job, He will bring it to me. And so that was the mindset that I had. A couple days later, I'm driving. Everything happens while I'm driving. A couple days later, I'm driving to get my nails done and I'm praying. And as I'm praying, I just feel email Michelle again on my spirit. And I'm like, no. And I'm being such a disobedient child. I'm like, no, Lord, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's so weird. That's so creepy. Like, if you want me to have this job, you're going to give it to me. I'm not going out of my way to email this woman. That's weird, especially in today's day and age. I'm not doing that. And so then I still didn't email her. As I'm driving back from the nail shop, I'm not praying, but like I'm listening to gospel music, and almost immediately again, like after listening to a few songs, I hear email Michelle. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, God. I'm not doing it. I'm so sorry, but no. Like, I was so adamant about not emailing her. So literally that same day, I get home, and a little bit later in the day, I think I had like lunch or something. And after I had lunch, I get upstairs on my computer and I start to go on LinkedIn and I start looking for jobs. And as I open LinkedIn and I'm looking for jobs, I feel on my spirit, why are you looking for jobs if I said this job is yours? And I'm like, okay. And so I stopped looking for jobs and I kind of just put my faith and trust in Him again. And I want to note that when I submitted my application to work in the TV industry, when I say like people really value experience, you have to have a reel. And so I didn't submit a reel, I submitted social media links instead. So I submitted my Instagram, I submitted my TikTok, I submitted YouTube, I submitted different social media accounts that would kind of show that like I know how to be on camera, right? Even though I didn't have actual TV experience. That's an important note to make. And so finally, I forget when it was that I finally decided to do what the Lord was pressing on my spirit to do, but I finally decided to email her, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I give in, I'll email her. So I emailed her, and literally a couple hours later, she emailed me back. I just basically introduced myself, told her that I applied for the job in early August, and I would love to ask her questions. Like, can I just pick your brain real quick about the position? And she said yes, and so I sent her the questions. She answered the questions, and I basically just thanked her for answering my questions, and I wanted to express interest again in the position. And if her or her boss had any questions about my resume or my experience or anything that I needed to clear up, that I would be happy to clear them up for them. And lo and behold, they scheduled an interview with me. And it was on the phone because I was in Ohio and the position is in Illinois. And so they scheduled a call with me. And so on the call, a couple moments before I hop on the call, I prayed that same prayer again. I said, Lord, if this is not the position for me, allow me to see that. I got on the call, and the call was about 30 minutes, and I left that call like feeling like this is my job. Like it was like almost a confirmation that this is your job. Like it was like just confirmation, like, Timothy, I am making it happen. Just allow me to do that. And so I'm like, okay. They invited me out to see the station once we got off the call. And so my mom and I drove down to Rockford, Illinois. When I got to the station, it was just everything I could have imagined. Like, it was everything I ever would have thought a TV station was, and so much more. And like, I was such a doe-eyed little girl at the time, because I'm like, this is a studio. These are microphones. These are pictures of the people that are on TV. Like this is real. And I couldn't believe it. And even when I stepped foot in the station, like my spirit felt so calm. Like it was nervous before, but as soon as I stepped foot in the station, like my spirit was so calm. And it was just like, this is where you're gonna be. Like, this is going to be your home for the next few years. Like, get ready. And I was just like, okay. But like, again, like I'm still, wanting them to see that, but I'm still just acting on faith that this is my position. My old boss took my mom and I to lunch, and in the conversation, at the end of the conversation, he was like, so when can you come play TV? And I'm like, well, I make the schedule at my old station, so I think I could come in about 2 more weeks. And I'm thinking that's like the next part of the interview process, is to audition. And he's like, no, I'm offering you the job. And I'm like, what? Are you sure? Like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that what the Lord said was passing by. Like, I could not believe what the Lord said was literally happening right in front of my eyes. I was mind blown. I was shocked. I was speechless. Honestly, I was speechless. From like the rest of the conversation, my mom more so talked, because I couldn't believe that the Lord had made it happen. I couldn't believe that I landed a job in TV with no TV experience. And not just any job, guys. I want to make it clear. I landed a job in lifestyle. That's exactly what I wanted. On camera, that's exactly what I wanted. And behind the scenes, where I'm learning a bunch of stuff. Exactly what I wanted. You guys, you cannot tell me God is not good. You cannot tell me that God did not orchestrate all of this. And when I say experience, I know I say I didn't have TV experience, because I didn't. The experience that I had specifically came from things that the Lord was telling me to do. And what I mean by that was my interest were my experience. Like me being very interested in social media, and me doing YouTube, and me doing TikToks, and me making Instagram reels. That was my on-air experience, right? Even though I didn't see it that way, the Lord saw it that way. He was intricately planning everything step by step. My experience for behind the scenes was the bulk of my job, if I wasn't on camera, was to be planning segments with guests. All of my jobs in high school, and even the job that I currently had at that moment, was literally guest relations. I worked in customer service my entire life. I'm great with people. I didn't see that as experience until now. And I'm like, oh, wow, I did have experience. I just didn't think the experience that I had counted for the experience that I needed for that job. You know that saying where God doesn't qualify the called, or God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. That was me. That was me. Because on paper, it doesn't look like I'm qualified. I don't have any TV experience, but other things that I was interested in were my experience. And I was just like, wow, okay, Lord. Okay, Lord. For the next almost 3 years, Rockford, Illinois was my home, and I got my start in TV, and I am so grateful and so thankful for my Rockford family because they literally watched me grow. Like, I had no idea how to be on TV. I had no idea how to interview people. I had no idea how to put a microphone on. I had no idea how to do anything in the TV industry. The only thing that I knew how to do was to be on camera. And when I say be on camera, I mean be myself on camera, because it's not that easy. It looks easy to sit and talk to a camera, but it's not. Some people get really, really freaked out. But for me, I love it. I get a kick out of it. I have such a high after I do it. I'm like, I want to do it again. And that's the only thing that I knew how to do. But every step of the way, everything that I've learned, I loved it. And even if I didn't do the best, I still was like, okay, I'm gonna still try my best the next day. I'm still gonna learn from it. I'm still gonna take that and I'm still gonna apply it to whatever else I'm learning. Like, it was just like everything that I was asking for, everything that I was praying for, I was like very in shock that it happened. And I love my Rockford family for it. I love them for allowing me to learn on their TV screens. I thank Michelle and specifically my boss, Sean, for entrusting a 22-year-old girl with a microphone. I cannot believe that they did that, but I can believe it because only God, I've started calling my career an only God career. Because only he could have made it happen. I still wonder to this day, I'm like, why would you give a 22-year-old girl out of college with no experience a microphone? Why would you trust her like that? But like, I was called for this. So I understand why they did it, but I'm just like, what? You are crazy. And I used to say that to them all the time. So like I said, guys, I just wanted to make this video for encouragement for you guys because my story is so beautiful. And I'm not gonna say it wasn't easy. Like, yes, I shared the highlights of it to make it somewhat quick, but there was definitely a lot of tears behind the scenes. Like, I was depressed almost that entire summer because I'm like, everyone else is getting jobs and I'm still not in my industry, and I really wanna be in my industry. And so to be able to be doing what I wanted to do right out of college, even though it was a couple months later, was so beautiful. I was just like, wow, Lord, okay. My biggest tip to you guys, if you don't take anything else from this video, would to be get out of the driver's seat and get in the passenger seat, because only he can do what he wants you to do, if that makes sense. And the more you try to control it, the more you try to force it to happen, the longer you're gonna have to wait. You have to let him be in control. And I know that's much easier said than done. Hey, even the job that I have right now in Pennsylvania, I was in the driver's seat for so long, and it wasn't until I finally gave it over to the Lord that I was able to see movement. But even then, like, that came with tears too. Guys, I also want to say, if you want to hear about how I got my current job in Pennsylvania, because that is also a only God story, please let me know in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for staying here and making it this far for me and letting me yap in your ear about how I landed my first job in TV with no experience, literally all by the grace of God that it happened. But thank you guys again. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys already haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.